Now that we've worked on the color a little bit, let's have some more fun with light. And I should also point out in our last effect what we did is this hue saturation effect. Now it was essential that we had worked on our image in this way. Notice that down here this became too red when you apply that effect, and kind of know that whenever you increase contrast. But by increasing contrast and color and whatnot and reducing that initially, we kind of set the stage to be able to do some more contrast effects. All right, well, speaking of that, let's go ahead and click on our topmost layer. Press Shift Option Command E on a Mac, Shift Alt Control E on a PC. And we're going to go ahead and name this layer Light. Next, we're going to navigate to our Filter pull-down menu, and we're going to choose Convert for Smart Filters. This will give us a lot of flexibility. Click OK. Then we're going to choose Filter and Render and Lens Flare. Now, we already have some nice lens flare coming in here, and what I want to do is I want to bring that out a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and set my lens flare here and experiment with a couple of different types of lens flare. And the first one's going to work best because I have these different rings here, and I kind of like the way that works. And I'm just trying to tap into what I already have right there, and I can control this a little bit how big it is, and we can see we can really go over the top with it or bring it down. Now, the trick with any effect like this is, of course, to try to do it in a way that's pretty subtle and not to overdo different filters, but I think that will look pretty good right there. It's kind of a hard preview, isn't it? We'll click OK to apply that. All right, great. Well, now we have that little bit of a lens flare effect. And what I want to do is I just want to diminish it up top. So I'm going to go ahead and click in the mask, grab my brush tool. I'm going to paint with black. And I'm going to paint with black at about 20% opacity. So I'll press 2 on the keyboard just to bring that back a little bit there. And down here, I'll leave that in. Press 4 on the keyboard, perhaps a little bit more there, bringing that out. And I just want to bring these down just a bit here. Here's my before and then after with that fun effect. All right, well, now that we've done that, another thing that I would like to do is I'd like to add a darkening edge around this entire image. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. So I'll click on the new layer icon. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my rectangular tool, and I'm going to make a rough rectangular selection around the edge of the photograph. Right about there, I think will work well. Then I'll invert that. I'll choose Select and Inverse. And I'm going to fill this with black. And I can fill this with black by way of shortcut. Currently, I have black in my foreground color. On a Mac, it's Option Delete. On a PC, it's Alt Delete in order to fill something with black. Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and deselect by going to Select, Deselect. And now let's blur this border out. Filter, we're going to choose Blur and Gaussian Blur. And we're going to blur it significantly. Click OK. We'll take our blend mode to soft light. Do you remember the fastest way to go to that blend mode? Well, here's what it is. You press the V key, go to the Move tool, then press Shift Option F to go to that soft light blend mode. And then we can change our opacity. How? By simply pressing a number on the keyboard. I'll go to 50%. Now, this is kind of a subtle effect, but it kind of fits the overall mood, right? Just a little bit of that darkening of the edge. Now, if we need more blur, if this is too strong, remember the last filter we used was Gaussian Blur? Check this out. To apply that last filter with the same exact settings, all we need to do is press Command F on a Mac, Control F on a PC. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll press Command F one more time. Again, just diffusing this out more and seeing where it looks best. All right, well, that looks kind of interesting. Here's our before and after, and that wraps up our work for this movie.